saw the world from the other side, but it's alright.
Right. Hey, Saiyr.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today or this evening?
I'm good. I have like allergy-like symptoms. The runny nose, stuffy nose, yeah, and sneezing a lot.
Okay. But all the other symptoms, things you were experiencing earlier, they've subsided?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Then you're just, another level of purging, really. The runny nose thing's not unusual. And also sometimes there's a feeling like flu or something like that symptoms, but they go away really fast, and so it's just purging. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, let's get you to listen. Let's keep going, see what's up.
I've been getting back on social media doing TikToks, and Nellie's been filming them for me for the ones that I need help with. And so we went to the pool area, so it's not inside the house filming too much. And we're having a blast, having fun. And usually how it goes, no one's outside, but once we go outside, people start coming outside. Um, I'm starting to be more conscious or like being able to hear the witch's voice that's been coming around our home. And so I was having a lot of fun to where I didn't notice her voice at first. We heard two women talking outside of the pool area, but we couldn't see them. Their voices were starting to irritate, not irritate Nelly. I can't really just say a word because it's whatever she experienced, but it was kind of bothersome. So we moved away from that area. And then after their voices went away, we went back to that area. We were filming a video, and then this guy walks up on the outside of the pool gate, um, basically questioning us like, so let me see if I can remember it. He was like, where do you guys live here? And I believe Nellie said yes. And then he was like, where at? And she was like, why? And he was like, this is private property. And he's like, do you have a key? Let me see it. And so she dangled the fob to show that we were able to get in because we have a key. And I was like, do you have a key? And he was like, no. And then Nellie said, how convenient. And then so we decided to contain and we walked away. We stayed inside the pool area because it was getting dark and we didn't know where he walked off to. So the other side of the pool area, and then all of a sudden I see the witch walking, and then stuff was starting to click to me like, okay, she probably sent him our way because she gave her number to him. And then she walked around the pool area so she can like kind of see us, but trying to play off as if she's walking her dog. So I decided to do an energy slap and contain, but it was just very interesting to us. We were like overthinking a lot. Like, did we feed density? Did we do something wrong? I felt confident, but I was wondering what could I have done differently.
I don't think there was much that you could have been done differently, really. Uh, and when people are showing up, again, you're doing this work, and literally, I'm separating you from the matrix. And so once that starts to happen, it's like there's an alarm that goes off, and you may think that, oh, maybe it's coincidental that there wasn't anybody out there. And then we go out there, then all of a sudden everybody and their grandma's showing up. And those things aren't accidents. Someone just said, well, how do you know? We know, we're seers, we know what's going on. And so what you have felt was literally what was going on. If she wants to play, I'll play with her.
Oh.
I play with her.
Oh.
Because they need to know that I have no patience for this shit. And if they want to get in the way of something that's very positive, they're going to pay for it. So that's a threat. So anyway, moving along, and we're going to keep that in.
Yes, Chief, of
We're gonna
course.
keep that.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, I harassing a couple women. One, we're not out there drinking. What's it called? I forgot what they call it, the big beers or whatever. Malt liquor, throwing bottles around and carrying on, and and blasting your music and so on and so forth. And they're going to ask you if you got a key. So anyway, it's just some ongoing nonsense. They're, approaching you in a certain way, and I think that you saying what you said was fine. It's a lot of times, yeah, avoiding issues are good, but sometimes just standing your ground is good also.
He did stammer. That's good.
Yeah, he stammered. You caught him off guard. He was expecting you to, I don't know, put your tail between his legs and, between your legs, sorry, your tail between your legs. Maybe that's what the deal was. Maybe he was horny. Little freak.
He did kind of seem under the influence, the way he was like leaning on the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's like, dude, get a life.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to come out and then ask someone else to show proof of them living there, and you don't have your proof. So all that to say that, yeah, it was literally an attack. This little janky witch who's drying up, she'll soon blow away anyway, is literally out there trying to feed. And I'm just kind of curious as to what it is that she's targeting in, on you. She's targeting in on your energy.
Oh, shit.
Because I don't know if this person listens to, the music that you've done in the past or anything like that, knows who you are or anything like that. I'm more inclined to think that because, she's a succubus witch, she's tapping into you having more essence
Ah, shit.
than she does, and she wants some of that.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. But you get it that, you have tools. She's not going to get, she's not going to break through. She's not going to get what she wants. And even with Ms. A, I've given her bump ups on some of her tools to the point where they would always try to, figure that she was a weak link. And so they'd always try to, attack her, bumped up her tools, and you can tell how they're working. So,
Yeah, they're. He said my hand got hot.
yeah, when you started handling, the new tool.
Yeah, because Chief was like, wow, that salt bag is hot. And I was like, and you're like, that's your hand, isn't it? It worked really well.
Yeah.
And even I did it, I put the sword in my own stomach when there's like discomfort, or if I have a pain on my head, I'll cut it and cut them into my own head, because this avatar is an illusion, so.
Yeah, and everything that you're feeling, like, in other words, with the runny nose and those effects, literally has to do with just purging all this, so much stuff that had been in you, I might as well say, through all this other stuff that you've experienced in the past. And all those things that you put in there are purging out. So that's why it's really uncomfortable, and that's why, the one true logic, that seeking enlightenment, or that seeking enlightenment, doesn't hurt much. But it can hurt. But it's, once you realize it, it's not like a freaky good hurt, but it's a good hurt to me. Because I know that it's leading to something, that's going to bring me to a much higher vibration, and also just feeling a lot better once it's over, instead of this cycle of just, I'm sick, I don't feel well, and it's just cycling around and coming, in other words, it's not coming out. It's just literally just cycling around me. So what you're doing right now with the work that, that I'm doing on you, is coming out, and the destination is the vortex of no return. So even what you were experiencing last week, very, very uncomfortable, but once, we got together and was able to, I was able to just help pull that stuff out. I just said that those symptoms went away. So don't be surprised when you have, those types of I used to say, effects, with your avatar. And always look at it as a positive.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, where do you want to go from there?
So, okay, I was at the grocery store, and with Nelly, we had decided to kind of like split up so we can make it quicker to get out of there. And I was going to go find Nelly, and as I was walking down an aisle, this elderly woman was walking the opposite direction, so we're passing ways. And as we were passing ways, it felt very slow motion. Um, I can't really explain it, but I don't know. It was just something like maybe we were communicating in some type of way, but without verbally communicating. I don't know. And so she walks past me. I'm like, okay, let me just contain because that was like different for me. And then I meet up with Nelly. We're walking to the register, and she's standing by herself looking lost. And I was like, okay, she kind of looks like she's looking for me. So I contained. And Nelly, she's purging and she wasn't feeling good, so she's like, okay, here's my card, I'm gonna go to the car. And I was like, oh, okay. I was standing in line and kind of like zoned out, and then I feel someone staring at me, so I look to my left and she's standing right next to me, the elderly woman. And I was like, oh, hi. And she was holding her to-go food. Her daughter, who is kind of, I think, middle aged, she wasn't really paying attention to her. But I thought the elderly woman was like hinting at that she wanted to cut in line. She only had one item, so I was just like, oh yeah, you can go in front of me. And then her daughter was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, it's fine. You both can go because you don't have a lot and I have a bunch of groceries. And so the elderly woman started speaking in Spanish, but saying like, I was able to make out thank you. And I was like, no worries, you're welcome. And then she turns to me and she starts speaking Spanish really quick, like fast. And her daughter was like, sorry, she gets like this sometimes. And I believe she either said one of these two things. She said, my mom said, you love her, or you'll end up loving her, or something like that. But the elderly woman kind of felt like what I was making out is that she thought that she could transition through me, or she wanted to go with me, or like, I don't know if she sensed your energy on me, but I was wondering if you could explain that to me.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go for a little muscle testing.
It's peculiar.
Yeah, it is peculiar. But there's been weirder things having to do with people you don't know. And she said like she kind of gets this way, which means that she may be experiencing what the attachment or whatever that they call dementia. So I'm going to, of course, before do protection on Ms. A. Okay. I get away. Welcome. That was, are you trying to resist?
I can try.
No, that's okay. So seeking help, not wanting to transition so much, but she experiences other entities, walking into her,
Mm.
you know, and that happens with a lot of older folks. And say, well, I would still say it's like an attachment. I'm just seeing if the ladies agree with what they call dementia would be considered an attachment. So it's something that literally opens a person up. Also if they don't know anything, as far as like what I'm teaching you and all the other clients and students, how to in other words, protect your energy and protect your avatar while we're cleaning out the wheelie bin. So there's all these people walking around having got a clue of what's going on that they need to, clear, be cleared because they don't know how to clear themselves anyway. And even those who will have sessions clearing, they think they can just show up and then disappear for a year and, and they're going to be good to go. But all their habits, are such that they just gather more stuff after I pull things out, and they don't want to listen to what I tell them. So, that's literally what happens with a lot of people. Her, she's never had it. She probably is heavily into religion, and with that, that's not really any real protection from the things on the other side. We get an agreement from the ladies with that. Yes, that's true. So she sensed your energy, and you're correct. She also sensed, my energy as well. Because when I'm working on you, I'm giving you energy directly from myself that, mixes with your energy just to push and get you stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger to help push out that, what we call enslaved energy out of your system. So I would say that her higher consciousness was speaking to you.
Okay.
So when you're walking by and you felt that there was some communication, it's just that, once we get deeper into, the more we get into the work with you, you will start to regain a sense of the first language.
Okay.
Language has to do with intent thought. A lot of times imagery is involved, but no speaking, no spoken words. So that you actually will sense that what the person is trying to get across to you. But also, if they're speaking to you, they have to talk through a lot of noise. That's another reason why you may not hear them that clearly, because there's all this is like static that is part of this realm, part of the matrix, part of the hologram, just to keep people from actually being able to speak in the first language. So that there's no need for someone to study Japanese to speak to somebody who's in Japan, or study Russian to speak to someone who's Russia, and so on and so forth. First language speaks to everyone, and every consciousness will understand it when they're clear enough. So that's, so I think that her higher self recognize a vibration. And probably, if anything, looking to I guess, not guess, your energy's gotten stronger. So they can feel that. This Oracle entities would always want to try to talk to her because she had this intensity of her own energy, but she wasn't even aware of why they were all just, wanting to clamor and talk to her. 9 times out of 10, they want you to help them escape something. So she wanted you to help her escape something. So it had to do with escaping the thing that, they would say, oh, there's an old folks disease, dementia, they're just falling apart, there's nothing you do. But there is actually something that can be done about it. And it's literally removing those attachments that cause that condition. So the old lady's under siege. She sees your energy is stronger than anyone else's in the store. Her higher consciousness sees it, and since she's easily taken over by other things, her higher consciousness is actually able to at least get her, over her and just standing next to you.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that. Yeah, sometimes people stand next to you, they try to suck, your essence, like draw your essence off of you. I didn't get that. I think that I really feel, not so much think I know really, but I really feel that she was seeking help. And not so much for the avatar, but for her higher consciousness. So that's interesting.
That's cool. Well, I've been like, go to Chief.
But I love individuals, even though I've done all these things, and folks, oh, you changed my life or whatever, and then they don't come back. It's because people are inundated with the density in this realm, and so there'll always be some weird reason for certain individuals, because obviously there are people who do come back over and over again. They override the density that's in their energy, or the attachments that are around them, because they feel whatever it is with their consciousness, higher consciousness, where it is, and so on and so forth. They really feel like, no, I'm going to escape this. This is the way to escape it. With her, I would say she's in a zone where no one will pay for what I do because they are locked into the concept that the doctors know best. And if they have to pay for it, someone will pay for someone to tell them whether they're going to find romance or something, but they won't pay for something that has to do with actually, healing them as holistically. Yeah. So with this only, there's going to be individuals, you're going to find this, because their energy is getting stronger, individuals who want help, but you can't help everybody.
Gosh.
And unfortunately, you won't be able to help her. Yeah.
Actually, quite a bit gone as well.
Yeah, the damage is pretty deep, but at least her higher consciousness was at least somewhat awake. Yeah. Zane's just asking if that's something, no question she has. Okay, yes.
Oh, they said that normally her higher consciousness would have been asleep, but because of the changes on Dunya recently, it caused a spike of energy that will. That's what.
Is that correct? Okay, we got it correct. We're correct. And again, everything that you're experiencing is connected to everything. It's all holistic. Everything I do is connected to everything. So what's going on, on Dunya right now, Gaia Earth, is affecting everyone, and apparently her consciousness wasn't as deep a coma as a lot of people since she was waking up. So again, they have to make a certain effort to, get the help they need. But if you got, what's supposedly over 7 billion people on the planet, that's a little daunting. Yeah, I mean, they call it triage, and when it comes to war, those who can, who can't, support themselves to move forward, you have to leave them behind. And those who can, those are the ones that you help. Say that where she's at, she woke up and fortunately she woke up, but she's amongst those that will probably have to be left behind. And that's just me being real, and I'm gonna be Pollyanna and New Agey about this, kumbaya and all this other kind of nonsense. This is a war, and that's really what it is, So, but it's a good lesson for you. But again, don't be surprised if you get more of that.
Okay.
And okay, what do you think? And I will say, as far as like, just deserting, if you know what I'm getting. Pull that out.
Thank you, Chief.
I try to hurt my muscle.
I don't care who you think you got backing you. I've destroyed much stronger than you are, punks.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Chief, Abraham Lincoln popped up today before my session, and I believe his name is Charlie Chaplin. Is that the actor with the little mustache?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On-screen comedic actor with a little mustache. I guess he was
Yeah.
different mustache before Hitler. Yeah. So they came up, and what capacity? You just saw them visually, or just?
What's the correct way to say it when I don't see it with my avatar eyes, but I'm still seeing? Is it psychically?
Yeah, psychically or etheric eyes. I use that also.
What was
Some
that, Chief?
second sight, but
Yeah.
I usually use etheric eyes with the etheric eyes.
Etheric eyes?
Yeah, like when they talk about the ether, but
Okay.
you didn't see with your physical eyes. You saw and some people call it in my mind's eye, but they don't like the mind's eye thing, so we're going to use mind's eye.
Fuck.
Yeah, so you're seeing it in your mind's eye then.
Yeah, I saw him in my mind's eye. It was like their face was right in front of my face. First it was Abraham Lincoln, and then it was Charlie Chaplin. It was very weird. It was random.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, my chest.
Okay.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah,
I can try again.
there's a lot of attention
Oh.
going on. Welcome. This is just a density bait, I guess I might as well say. They come to me, I don't have to go find them. All right, so. So I'm getting a little craggy witch woman in the neighborhood. I think she taps into these. There are these folks who, that's why, we talk about witchcraft and so on and so forth, and they were promoting this stuff for like, a number of decades. Even when I was a kid, they had this show called Bewitched, and I think I might have mentioned it in one of the forums, to glamorize, witchcraft. But also, they have this scenario going on where the religious are, protesting about the woman who wrote the Harry Potter books and whatever being a sorceress and teaching witchcraft, when the churches are pretty guilty of the same thing. So I'm thinking that she feels that she has the spirit of Abraham Lincoln, and she has trapped the spirit of Charlie Chaplin. I mean, does she really have them? She thinks she does.
That's funny.
So she has some kind of entities or whatever who are playing out these roles. Spying? Yeah, little spies. What did you do to them when you saw them?
I had ignored it because I wanted to talk to you first, because it like really caught me off guard because I haven't like watched anything with Abraham Lincoln or Charlie Chaplin.
Well, just when entities like that show up, you just always use your tools. You just do your containment.
Okay.
Anyone who shows up, you do containment. Light beings consider that the secret handshake, because if they're light, they won't go away, which means that they're cool. But because this realm is so crazy, you don't know who's pretending to be what. So when you use my containment, it literally filters out things that vibrate below what they call the line of demarcation that in the realms of extreme imbalance. And those who are above, who are in more balance into higher balance, will not be affected by it. And sometimes, as Ms. A had experienced in the past, she's busy trying to contain this person before I told her, it doesn't hurt, light beings, and if they're still standing there, they're a light being. Usually, these ones, they get all freaked out and they start trying to run away. So these guys just contain them next time you see them. But actually, what you're going to do, you're just going to go back in the picture, you mind seeing them,
Okay.
and now you're going to contain them.
Yeah.
Okay.